You're listening to Chillworthy,
a podcast where two best friends discuss mysteries, murders, and anything in between for your enjoyment.
so if you're ready to hear some chilling and unsettling cases, you're in the right place. Happy listening. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Chillworthy with Brent and Talia.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing today?
Very well. How are you?
All right. It's
Yeah.
windy, kind of cold.
Oh my God, it's so
Looks like
cold and
spring,
windy.
though.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to go first with your media sources?
Surely.
Yes.
So I only finished one since we met last, The Unseen World by Liz Moore. Very good. I gave
Woman
it
who wrote God of the Woods.
Yes, exactly. And that other book, which I forget if I said the title last time, if I could remember it, the one about the two sisters. That one, it takes place in Philadelphia. That one is Long Bright River. And I liked that one a lot as well. So yeah, this was really good. Very different kind of, subject matter. It alternates between the 80s and 2009. And it talks about this, when it starts, she's 12 years old. It's her and her dad, David. And he's an interesting character, pretty complex. And stuff about his past starts, coming to light. Alzheimer's is a big theme in this book. It was so well done. I really enjoyed it. A lot of computer heavy technology, developing over the years and advancements. That's a pretty heavy theme. But a lot of family trauma. But then the book.
Right up your alley.
Right. And then the book goes into the 30s and 40s and David's childhood and where he comes from, and very, very interesting. So yeah, it was a very good book. And then I started, I'm not far at all, The Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney, and I'm barely into it. I mean, it's very, very early on. I've read a few books by this author. I sort of was initially, the way it starts, I just don't find realistic at all. So I'm how am I going to get into this book? It just does not sound believable, kind of. But I'm definitely hooked to see what the hell is going on here.
All right.
It got fantastic reviews, so we'll see. And then the audiobook that I started, I'm not going to talk about because I got the recommendation from you. You have
yes.
finished and listened and everything. So I'll let you discuss that. But I will say I am absolutely loving it so far. I love the recommendation. Thank you very much for suggesting. I will, if I could just say quickly.
Sure.
Without saying the title. Brent called me. I guess you hadn't finished it yet. You were reading it and you called and you were like, oh my gosh, you compared it to Scream, but with a different, age group, which you'll get into. And I was sucked in at that description. So then I was like, all right. And then
I don't know. Actually, you told me it sounded hokey.
Did I?
That was your exact words.
Sounds like me.
Absolutely, it
right.
does.
And then I said to you, well, it's not available, and then maybe I'll read it.
It absolutely does.
Yeah. And then you were like,
could I just maybe talk about it?
Yes.
Thanks.
Surely.
This book had been, I must have put it on my Libby list at some point. I'm sure I heard about it through TikTok. The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre.
Retirement Home Massacre, yeah. It's a mouthful. It is a mouthful.
And I described it to Talia basically Scream in a nursing, not a nursing home, but a nursing village.
Or I think you said
assisted living
to
village.
The elderly. Yeah, it was, and all I had to hear was all I had to hear was Scream, and I was intrigued. I was curious.
So it is about obviously the residents of this place. Some murders start happening. They don't know they're murders in the very beginning, but us as the reader does. And, there's a lot of crazy characters. The narrator does a fantastic job, in my opinion, with her voice and that.
Oh, that makes it.
the way she imitates, the different people and stuff like that. A lot of fun characters. And I mean, Talia and I both agreed it has sort of a cozy atmosphere. And, I don't know. It's just, it was like the further I went, like I actively wanted to listen, which doesn't always happen. Sometimes I just listened because I'm like, all right, well, let's keep going. Like, let's get through
it. Right.
Right. But this one was like, I was actively like looking for like, if I got in the car or
same
at night, like before bed, I would put on like the sleep timer, but I wouldn't fall asleep to it. Not stupid.
When I'm getting ready, I like to put it on. I am looking for every opportunity I can listen to this thing. It's crazy.
So anyway, yeah, I would say, not that I do a lot of ratings, but I would say 5 out of 5. I liked it. I was interested. I wanted to know what was going on by the end. Blah, 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 blah.
I like all the characters. I think there are a lot of people, but it's easy to manage. Like, I'm not getting confused by it.
Yeah, it's
so far at least.
Yeah. No, I think the author does a good job of like kind of reminding you who is who also. It's not necessarily just, like they'll kind of give a little descriptor of like maybe who they're talking about or something to help
jog your memory.
Right. So, but anyway, yeah. So I would, dare I say, highly recommend that book.
You mentioned a show. No, I'm sorry. A movie. I think last time with Charlize Theron.
Apex.
Well, I started it. Have not yet finished it. I'm watching it in about 12-minute increments, so I'm not very far whatsoever. But I will not give anything away, and I am glad you didn't give this away to me or anybody when you were describing it. But something occurred that I was not expecting early, and mouth was gaping opened. I do very much enjoy it so far.
I don't even know what you're referring to, but fine.
I thought you might say that. But yeah, this is one hell of a rugged movie.
Oh, it's rugged.
Yeah. Yeah, but I like it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then that actually led me on a deep dive because do you remember when I was reading or watching, there was like that documentary about the free climber, can't remember what his name is. And
well, no, I don't.
Something in like Yosemite and like El Capitan. I can't remember all he scaled. Like he free scaled, I think is the term. Oh my God, this documentary was so good. Oh, speaking of documentaries, I still didn't watch the dinosaur one you told me about. Maybe I'll do that today.
Well, that's a episode.
Oh, I thought it was one shot. Like
no,
hour and a half, done.
I don't think so, no.
The dinosaur.
Yeah, I know which one you're speaking of, but no. I think it's
Son of a bitch.
I watched it like for hours on a day that I was just off.
I thought it was
I watched it all at the same time, but it was definitely
multiple.
Yes. I would say maybe 4.
All right. Well, maybe that won't be today then, but I do need to watch that. Anyway.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm. And we both separately saw The Devil Wears Prada 2.
Yes.
It was fine.
It was fine.
Nostalgic-y, kind of sweet. Not as good as the first, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Brent I never saw the first one. Ashley wanted to go to see the second, so I obviously then had to watch the first. So we did that this week, and I loved it. And I was very curious, what would the second one even be about? So,
exactly.
It's like, where are you going from there? The first one didn't end the way I expected it to. So, yeah, but I really did like that first one. So, yeah, when the second one ended, we were both like, we had, the same reaction. Like, we didn't dislike it. It was fine. It was okay. First one's definitely better.
I loved her hair in the first one. Miranda's hair, like how big and
I feel like it was
and
thinner
fluffed up
in
it
this
was.
one, which I mean, she's how much older? I think she
20 years.
Looked great. Yeah, she looked fantastic for her age. I loved her outfits in this one, especially the scene where she's, I'll just say, in Europe and she's alone on the street and my God, I love that outfit. There were a few of hers, like I said, I really liked, and I loved Andy's 2 necklaces, as I've already told you that she has on throughout the movie.
Anne Hathaway was 23 when she
23
recorded the first one, and now 43 doing the second.
Wowza.
So, yeah. Talia is presenting yet again another case today.
I surely am.
So I'm going to hand it over to her.
All right.
So anytime you're ready, you take it away.
For roughly more than about 200 years,
Wow.
people have claimed they believe that something lives in the forests of southern New Jersey.
Wow. I thought you were going to say in the luck.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? What an undertaking. Maybe I should try to plan to do
maybe
that like 3 weeks from now. So then I actually could be. It gives me chills to think about doing that topic.
Calendars.
That would be a good tattoo.
Of course.
Just came to me.
All right. What about New Jersey? What about the southern forests of New Jersey, please?
Thank you.
Sure.
I forget. Witnesses describe seeing glowing red eyes, a horse-like head.
Muthman.
Oh my God, Ashley said the exact same thing when I was like,
practicing.
I was gonna, I was gonna say that, but that's not fair to say. I was not practicing, but just telling her my findings. Bat wings, clawed hands. Some people claim to have seen it fly. Others insist that it leaps kind of like impossible lengths throughout the trees. Most describe this like terrible feeling of terror afterwards, not wonder, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I am going to
Dread.
Yeah, exactly. I am going to be talking about the Jersey Devil today. Mm-hmm. And, I know nothing about it. Like, I knew
you knew where it lived.
Yes, correct. The Pine Barrens, which I did not know where that name came from. I was very interested about that. I didn't know, obviously, where this whole story came from. I knew that the Jersey Devils are a hockey team. A hockey team. And there was something else I found out. What the hell was it? I can't remember. And this I knew, but only if you know, the fantastic Sopranos episode called Pine Barrens.
I don't know.
Oh my God. It's not my favorite, but it is one of my... Actually, it might be my favorite. It might be. It is a damn good episode. And you're in there. You're in there, man, for that episode. Like, that's what you're seeing and breathing and living.
Having only seen them once, I will say I definitely noticed the immense, like, just thick,
dense,
dark, impenetrable.
Yes, perfect word.
Darkness.
I like when you're driving past and what you're describing is basically, the general theme as you drive by, but I like when little bits of sunlight get through.
Well, of course.
And those pockets, and how I just love that. I love it. But I also didn't know, like, people live in there. I didn't know that. And actually, real quick about that. So there is I guess you would say, like, a derogatory term for the people that live in the Pine Barrens. They're called Pineys. But I was also... What? But I was also finding that they've kind of reclaimed that name and, like, will refer to themselves as that. So I guess...
Okay.
I don't know. But what was fascinating... Like, I never knew where the term Pine Barrens came from. What is my problem? Oh my God. Basically, the soil was considered to be, like, impossible to farm. What?
No.
By early settlers. Like,
well, there was no light.
Well, that's actually a very good point that I didn't think of. So according to them, though, like traditional farming couldn't take place because of the soil. The soil is super sandy and acidic. Because of that, they refer to the land as being barren. And the area primarily consisted of pitch pine and scrub oak.
Pitch pine.
So, hence, Pine Barrens.
Yeah.
The land is barren. The other thing that's interesting is many areas are swampy. With the cedar, a lot of the forest also consists of cedar trees. And that causes the water to look red. Like I was looking up videos.
Tannins.
Yes. And it's because of the high concentration of iron. So when the water is like lapping up on these little shores, like not legit like a beach shore, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The water does look red and very fascinating. So they call that cedar water. Isn't that nice? I mean, I guess it's not nice, but I think it's very fascinating.
I feel like we saw something similar to that when didn't we go to like a state park in Delaware, and
oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They were like little bogs or something, but they were very red.
I loved that. And we were walking on the boards.
Yes.
Yes.
And you thought random farmers had planted corn.
I did. I did.
Just one stalk.
That was a nice time. And there were like bird nests or something that we had to be careful about. Remember? Right?
What do you mean by careful?
You couldn't fiddle with them. You had to walk in a certain area.
I don't remember that, but
there was a place that Ashley and I went that also had this going on, and I think those were for bald eagles. But I'm almost certain the place you're talking about in Delaware
I know they had
too.
osprey nests that we saw, but we weren't walking over them. I mean, they were out on the water.
No, but I thought there was like signs or something, and it was saying to not. But like I said,
you came home with ticks.
I was gonna say that too. That's where we then were on the beach, and I picked it out of my knee. Remember? Oh my God, it was terrible. It was disgusting.
Horrid.
It was. All right. Now there was something.
But we digress. Yeah.
So yeah, and then back to the soil. The high level of iron in the water in the surrounding areas of the Pine Barrens also made it, inhospitable to grow anything for the early settlers. So I found that most fascinating. So the Pine Barrens cover more than 1 million acres across southern New Jersey. Wild. That is wild. Wild. Despite it being surrounded by some of the most densely populated areas in the United States, parts of this forest still kind of feel untouched, and I kind of feel like they are. I mean, what the hell do I know? Obviously.
I mean, they look it.
Exactly. Right. Right.
And they should remain that way.
Agreed. In there, roads narrow into sand paths. Actually, speaking of that, one of the videos I was watching was saying some of the roads in there are... What the hell did they say? Like some were back from when they had stagecoaches.
Oh.
And then the other the other one, I don't know if it said, was it for the Native Americans? Or it must have been. But they used a specific term. I can't remember what it was. So, it can be disorienting in there. You feel like trees are closing in around you. I feel like that's the vibe you get when you're driving by and you see, no street lights necessarily in a lot of it. Well, actually, I don't know. Obviously, I can't speak to the 1 million acres exactly, but no cell service, which that was a thing in the Sopranos episode.
Okay.
But, no real sound except for sounds in the woods.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if they have a sleep ambience of the Pine Barrens.
No.
They have one for Jurassic Park,
which is a nice one. I've read to that countless times. After you sent it to me, it was very nice little thunderstorm, diny sound situation. Are you looking it up right now?
I'm looking something else up quickly, but
could
keep
you?
going.
Well, no, I want to look it up.
You
then.
go, well, no. Please, could you? I promise I'll look it up then.
Oh, okay, as long as you promise.
I do promise.
Fine. So, when you think about it, with what I'm describing and how sort of like deserted in a way it is, And like, you know, the land is deemed to be like worthless by the people who first came upon it. They can't farm. It was sort of looked at as like worthless land, and it harbored this like this harsh environment, like basically harbored like isolation.
Pause that. What I wanted to look up was just because it always comes to my mind. I was wondering, I Googled if the Pine Barrens were similar to what I picture the Black Forest to be.
What's that?
In Germany. You know, like how they have like Black Forest hemp.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's a forest in Germany, but I just picture them similar, and I asked, and it said that they are actually not very similar. Both are dominated by coniferous trees, but the Black Forest is a dense mountainous region with ancient spruce and fir trees, while the Pine Barrens is flat, sandy, and dominated by pitch pine, oak, and cedar. So, all right, I was just curious as to if they were similar, and now I am no longer disillusioned by that. It says here, Pine Barrens soundscape, 12 hours of sleep for children and adults.
Through what? YouTube?
And it's also the windy Pine Barrens, 10 hours of sleep.
That.
So if anybody is interested, they are located on YouTube under Pine Barrens Soundscapes.
Thank you for finding that for us.
So anyway, now we will be hearing about the monster that lives in there at some point.
I'm very fixated on these Pine Barrens. Like, I feel like I need to get a grip here and talk about the issue at hand.
Or are we in a science class?
But the Pine Barrens have just always been a fascination
I
of
do
mine.
Understand, right?
Yes.
And we've heard about them. They're
Well, I'm not...
very fascinating.
Right. Right.
And if this was a topography podcast, I'd say, hey, keep rolling about them for at least another 10 to 15 minutes.
Right. But we don't get the time.
We haven't got the time.
Okay. So basically, entire communities were existing in these woods, like hidden, which, I mean, I kind of feel like they still are. Maybe not to the extent that they were. So small towns, there were iron furnaces, there were glass-making villages. And people lived like hard lives out there. That it wasn't, easy street. Over time, the Pine Barrens developed a reputation, and outsiders came to view it as like strange, wild.
No men's land.
Right. Superstitions started to develop. The forest just became associated with a lot of mystery, alleged disappearances, ghost stories, and monsters.
Yeah.
According to legend, the Jersey Devil wasn't discovered per se. It was born. Do you know anything about it? Oh, you do know about it. You know the history.
I know some of what you're about to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I, as I've already said, knew nothing. So I was extremely intrigued by all of this.
Actually, I think because I was with my friend when we were driving through the Pine Barrens, and we listened to a podcast on the Jersey Devil while driving through the Pine Barrens.
Get out of here.
To hear the history of it.
Did he know anything?
No. But we both liked listening to it. Like, it was a good
informative
episode, yeah.
There are, like most folklore, there are various versions of this.
Right.
But the core of the story is basically sometime in the 1700s, deep in the Pine Barrens was a woman. Now, I couldn't find any more of a name than Mother Leeds. Like, I don't...
Okay.
Joanne, Kendra, Lucy, I'm not sure. Oh my God,
Jessica.
That just made me think of Mother Dorothy.
Horrible.
From the Golden Girls, awful episode, awful men. So in most versions of this story, Mother Leeds was exhausted, overworked. She was living in poverty with her 12 children. She discovered she was pregnant again. So, depending on the version of the story, she reacted with like anger, despair, frustration over this 13th pregnancy. So allegedly she cries out, "Let this one be the devil." Which I was thinking, why would you say that?
Tough crowd.
Right. But like, that's what, not like, I don't know exactly what I would have thought she would say, but what does that even mean? Let this one, you want to give birth to the devil? Like, what are you doing here? Who knows?
I don't.
She wasn't in her right mind.
Well, probably not.
Right. So, this story is claiming that she cursed the unborn child. There were some stories that she was involved in witchcraft herself.
Holla.
Which I didn't even want to say because...
No, it's a bad look.
Thank you. Exactly. So I do not...
Egga, thank you. You're Egga welcome.
All right. Now let me see here.
Okay, so she cursed him. She might have been involved in witchcraft, which we don't believe because
Correct.
That's just putting a bad name to witches.
Correct. Or I do believe it, but I don't believe the negative connotation.
Fine.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't believe in witchcraft.
Correct.
Right, yeah.
Yes. All right. So, then some of the versions of this story are saying that the father wasn't a human himself. Okay.
Of course.
Then there was this really bad storm. Violent weather, insane rain, wind. Allegedly, the thunder is shaking the house, which... so there was a summer I vividly remember.
Oh, boy.
And my mom, she has these work meetings every few years, and they're huge, and there are people coming in from, all different parts of the country, and it's kind of in my little girl eyes, old home week. So, this is, into adulthood. I remember, so this particular year, I leave work, I drive over to meet her to go to see some of these people. And there was a thunderstorm that was so bad going on. And I was like, okay, well, I'm here. But I don't know. I didn't have an umbrella or something. And it was coming down like a torrential downpour. And I waited in the car for a little bit. And then it started to let up. So I got out. And then the thunder happened. It thundered. And I felt it through the parking lot as I was walking. I've never experienced that before or again. I'm not joking.
I didn't think any of this was a joke.
It was absolutely on another level. It was surreal. And I'm grateful for it. I went in and I told everybody about it when I went.
I bet you did. Thank you for sharing that with us
here
today.
Absolutely. All right. So neighbors gather around, in this house to help her, which I imagine to be a thing back whenever this was.
Of course.
When did I say it was? The 1700s?
Yeah.
Okay. The baby appeared normal at first, allegedly. Then the child begins to change moments after the birth. Its body started to twist. Its face stretched into something that was more animal-like. Wings were, bursting through out of its back. Hooves started to form where the feet should have been.
I mean, sounds most abnormal.
Right. Allegedly now, goes from a baby to a creature. The creature screams. And, the
shrieks.
The people inside the house were totally panicked. And allegedly.
Sounds reasonable.
That's true. Well, then in Jumanji style, it freaking flies up the chimney and disappears into the Pine Barrens.
Ooh.
Where it remained, waiting.
To this day.
So, over the centuries, according to legend, it continues to haunt southern New Jersey. Part of where, yes, this is a myth, but where it's okay, still rooted in history, the Leeds family did actually exist, though. Their history is, strange. So... this was a real colonial family that lived in New Jersey during the late 1600s and early 1700s. A man named Daniel Leeds was a very controversial figure in the colony. He published almanacs that contained themes or topics, whatever, of astrology, mysticism, and the occult.
That sounds like a fun time.
Right.
And I mean that.
Well, it did not sit well with the Quakers.
Oh, I'm sure.
Who dominated this region.
Tell me something I don't know.
Politically and religiously. So Daniel starts to become viewed as, he's an outsider.
Of course.
So he's being accused of dealing in forbidden subjects. he's getting
foreboding.
He's getting labeled evil. Things escalated very quickly because then he started publicly feuding with very powerful religious groups.
Don't want to do that.
Right. So the Leeds family develops this, reputation. And what's interesting is
Yeah.
the Leeds family crest features a winged beast, a winged monster with clawed feet.
Oh, yeah, that does sound interesting.
Don't you find that odd?
I do.
Ironic. So this became known as the Leeds Devil. But
Not quite the same ring to it.
well, and historians believe though that sort of originated more out of a political insult than a
Of
literal
course.
monster, right? So an attempt to demonize this family further. So, over generations, these stories evolved, rumors become these, legends, and then the Leeds Devil transforms into the Jersey Devil.
Yes.
Whatever the case may be, whether it was this political propaganda or just strictly folklore, over the next 200 years, this is cemented into American culture, American legend. And then we have people that are claiming to have seen it, there are witnesses. So, some of the sightings are just kind of wildly inconsistent. There are features of it that appear time and time again. Most witnesses describe that it stands somewhere between 3 feet and 7. So pretty close.
Does most everything.
Right.
Dare I say, but yeah.
Usually described as very thin, almost skeletal, a horse-like or goat-like head, very long
Very
neck.
odd head
Pairings.
type. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Like a horse head? What the hell?
I know.
All right, fine.
I know. Well, actually, let me show you a little... Where the heck is it?
Like old Brisker.
Who's that?
I don't know, one of the horses in St. Olaf, I guess.
Oh. And this kind of is what I imagined in my head. Kind of like a horse dragon. A skinny little horse dragon.
Okay. All right.
I'm not anxious to meet him, but
No,
all right.
I thought he would look actually scarier than that, to be
Same.
honest.
I think we're duped by the horse head because who doesn't love a nice horse?
I do.
Freaking velvet nosy.
Like Marmalade's little belly. Horse nose belly.
I forget where I left off. Long neck, bat wings, clawed hands, hooves. Some witnesses claim that they saw it walking upright. Others claim that it crouched over like an animal. Its eyes are almost always described as glowing red. And then there's a sound.
Oh. Does it say like no vacancy, or what does it say?
He signs. Jesus, I was going to say he holds a sign that says hello. All right, anyway. All right, so it makes this sound, and it's described like not a roar, a growl, an actual scream, a horrifying scream. People have compared it to like a woman shrieking, metal scraping against metal, or an animal dying.
Well, I don't like that.
I know. And, people who kind of view themselves as skeptics about all of this, do though acknowledge there are very strange sounds within the Pine Barrens, which, I feel like
course.
that's any wooded area.
Foxes, screech owls.
Good call.
I mean, come
Good call.
on.
Oh my God, yeah. The first major period of reported activity came during the 1800s.
Okay.
So throughout southern New Jersey, newspapers would occasionally publish stories about mysterious animal tracks. There would be stories about strange creatures flying, allegedly. Farm animals were disappearing. Locals were saying that they encountered something strange in the woods that was terrifying. So Joseph Bonaparte, the brother of Napoleon, Joey's boy.
Tommy's boy.
All right. So Joseph claimed that
He's a man. You didn't tell me you moved in with a man. Please, he's 92 years old. I don't even know if he knows I'm a woman.
I love that scene. Oh my God. That is like my favorite, as I've said multiple times.
I sent you a line last night.
I responded.
I know. I'm just saying. It's such a simple line, but
I love it.
It's one of my favorite ones throughout the entire series.
I didn't realize you liked it that much.
Yeah, when they leave her in that elevator. And it's just, because I think it's like, that's like the kind of, that's the kind of humor I use all the time. You know, like a very sarcastic answer followed up by like,
that's
I don't
true.
know, like, Ma, what are you doing in this elevator? I'm into easy listening. How the hell should I know? It's so, I love it. I just love it. Who's your insurance provider? Lloyd's of London. Anyway, go ahead.
I really like that one either. He claimed he saw the Jersey Devil while he was hunting near Bordentown
Okay.
in the early 1800s. So, according to the story, he encounters this creature that hisses at him and flies away. A goose, a hunker.
It could have been.
Right. So, obviously whether this actually happened is impossible to verify. But the story became part of like this growing mythology about the Jersey Devil. So by the late 19th century, this whole thing has just taken off into like local culture. So parents are warning kids about wandering too far into the woods because of the Jersey Devil.
Hell yeah.
Travelers avoid certain roads at night. And stories are just spreading from town to town to town. So everything escalates pretty dramatically in January of 1909. So like for one terrifying week during this month, the entire region seemed to be convinced that
What month?
this thing is real. January.
Oh, I didn't know you said January.
I did. So one event that is kind of responsible
Cooled.
Okay, so during the week of January 16th, and this goes through January 23rd, and this is also stems from New Jersey going into Pennsylvania. Hundreds of people are saying they see the Jersey Devil.
Wow.
So, we're not talking like one or two people. And the other thing that I think is interesting is, according to the reports, this ranged in like the type of person reporting. It was factory workers, school teachers, business owners,
School teachers.
police officers, children. There would be entire groups of people who saw this as a group. And the other thing is the sightings weren't limited to isolated forests within the Pine Barrens. Like this is going out into towns outside of the Pine Barrens. They're saying that they're seeing this thing in streets, on the rooftops. Some are claiming that it attacked streetcars. One of the earliest reports involved strange hoof prints found in the snow, saying that it can like now jump. It was jumping fences. These footprints are appearing in multiple towns simultaneously, or hoof prints, I guess I should say. Then the newspapers are taking off with this in the headlines. Panic is spreading. They're literally closing down schools and factories because of this. Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine?
It does sound very similar to what they were doing with Mothman, though.
True.
Like everybody was starting to get panicky and people didn't want to go outside at night.
Well, right. So then this is, people are now feeling that they have to arm themselves when they go outside. They're searching the woods. Police departments are receiving calls nonstop about this. One newspaper was describing how crowds were like just gathering in the streets, and you would just be driving by, walk by, and you're seeing people, all these groups are just staring up at the rooftops. Like, I don't know if they're claiming that they see it, that they're expecting it to come.
Well, I think it's that kind of like mass hysteria type of thing again.
Absolutely. And as that hysteria was, becoming more like intensified, then the sightings are becoming more dramatic. In Bristol, Pennsylvania, a patrolman claimed he encountered the creature directly. It had wings, glowing eyes. Another report said that this creature landed on a roof when this family was inside of their house as this was happening. In Camden, New Jersey, witnesses claim the Jersey Devil was attacking a trolley car.
Ding, ding, ding went the trolley.
There was a Philadelphia newspaper that was offering a reward for the creature. I also saw something, couldn't verify it, but it was saying how like at one point the Philadelphia Zoo was offering a reward for this thing.
Oh.
So, once this reward is offered in the Philadelphia newspaper, this is just fueling the chaos.
Of course.
So then there was this
People
one.
don't need a big excuse to want to go out and kill something. We all know that.
So there was this one particularly famous report from Hayden Heights. I'm not sure how you say it. A man and his wife reportedly heard strange noises outside during the night. They look out the window. They claim they see a creature standing in the yard. They insist they saw wings, hooves, a terrifying face.
They're going to say a pterodactyl.
Oh my God. So the man shoots his gun at it. And it flies away. Mm-hmm. The next morning, there are strange tracks that are discovered in the snow. So I don't know. Historians have debated this over the decades, like what was honestly going on in 1909. Combination of fear, the sensationalism in the newspapers, rumors just going on and on and on. People think that it was probably like just misidentified animals. Sandhill cranes are often mentioned because they're very tall, strange-looking birds. They have enormous wingspans.
I think that's the same thing they said Mothman was. Remember
that
when I was
same
telling
bird?
you that? Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Like that it was a potential case of mistaken identity.
Oh, yes. And, in poor lighting, especially during panic, it is easy to see how someone would mistake something ordinary for being just monstrous. Regardless of what was going on, this 1909 panic just permanently transformed the Jersey Devil into like this cultural icon.
Phenomenon.
Right.
And then what? The sightings just pop out again or back to like...
Funny you ask.
Bits and bubs?
So sightings continue to this day. Every few years, a report will kind of pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes hikers say that they see it. Sometimes drivers, hunters.
I would love to go, not in a tent, but I would love to rent a place in the Pine Barrens.
Would you?
You said it very, accusatorily. Like, yeah, yes, I would.
I'm a little
sorry.
surprised. I was going to ask you if you would want to drive through it, so I did not think you were going to say you wanted to stay in there.
I think I would. Yeah, I think it would be fun to go with a couple of people, and just, I don't know. I mean, if there are, I think I looked into that once, and it's not like the Smoky Mountains where there's cabins left, right, and sideways out there, but I would love to do something like that.
Yeah.
Have a nice little campfire.
Well, so campers are also on the list of, more recent reports having seen it, which I think makes total sense. Like, hikers and campers are, I feel like the people, and hunters, I guess, because also I had said that they're out there for such extended periods.
They're out there.
They're out there. Not protected by anything, if you're going to see it, you're going to see it. If it's out there, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah.
In the 60s and 70s, sightings surged again as interest in paranormal phenomena kind of exploded.
The Flower Children.
Fleurs in the Ittic. Then my mom loved those books. Then came the internet era. So, countless people are posting online that they're claiming they're encountering this thing in the Pine Barrens. One witness described driving late at night when a winged creature crossed the road in front of the car. Another claimed they heard screaming, terrible, terrible screaming coming outside. Like they were camping. It was at the campsite. They go outside to explore this. There's weird hoof prints, I guess I should say. Other people are saying they see the glowing eyes. The glowing eyes, I mean, if you're claiming they're red, fine. But if you're just saying glowing eyes, that could literally be. Yeah. Interestingly enough, though, many of these witnesses do not claim that the creature has attacked them, but they just consistently talk about this overwhelming feeling of dread. Correct. Right? They feel like they're being watched. They feel like they have wandered into something that they're not supposed to be there, And like you had commented on just like the atmosphere of the Pine Barrens, you know, I think it's easy to understand. Not to say like that it's, well, I think it is disorienting in there, but like that it is just so dense and isolated. I feel like your mind can absolutely just go
play tricks on you.
bonkers. Right. Depending on who you ask and what people's different theories are on what the Jersey Devil actually is. You know, there's like several likely explanations. Could be misidentification like we talked about.
Right.
You know, animals can look pretty strange, even behavior-wise, if they're under stress, if they're injured, if they have something, you know, that could be something
Right.
playing a part. Poor lighting, especially in the Pine Barrens with how we talked about how dark it can be and just there's no light getting in. Deer can, I guess, somehow, or sometimes I should say, behave unpredictably. You mentioned owls and foxes in terms of that sound that, you know, they're saying. And I guess, too, that sandhill crane can also make eerie sounds. I forget if I said that yet. Now, I didn't know. Oh, that was the other thing that I had said to you when I talked about, like, the hockey team. And I said that there was something else about the Jersey Devil that I found, and I couldn't think of what it was. It was a video game. So, you know, the Jersey Devil has definitely popped up in pulp culture. Pulp culture.
Pulp.
Is that what I said?
Pulp culture.
Oh my God.
With
What's
Tropicana.
that movie that I love? Pulp Fiction, right? Is that what it's called?
I've never seen it.
God, I love that movie. So there are annual festivals dedicated to the legend of the Jersey Devil. I did not know this, and this definitely intrigues me, but there are tour companies
Oh, yeah?
that offer Jersey Devil expeditions through the Pine Barrens.
Expeditions. Wow.
That would be
sounds
pretty
official.
cool, right? Gift shops obviously sell Jersey Devil merchandise. You can drive, like the Pine Barrens are accessible. It's not like it's something that's like closed off that people have to sneak in to see it. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Recent encounters. There was a group of friends going through, like driving through the Pine Barrens late one night. They claimed something flew over the vehicle. It had enormous wings, moved silently. They actually stopped the car, got out. And would you do that?
Hell no.
I was going to say, like, maybe I would roll down the window. I don't even think I would want to do that. Who knows what's out there, man? Not even just that thing, but
Well, of course.
yeah.
Now, would you prefer to come across this or the Mothman?
This, I think.
I think so as well.
Yeah. There's something super eerie to me about Mothman that's less eerie than this. I don't know why.
There's something super
No, I said
eerie
that
about
wrong.
Mothman that's less eerie than this.
That's more.
Well said.
You get my drift. People also have said that I guess they believe that this creature targets specifically like isolated roads. People claim to have seen a figure standing motionless near the tree line before it will suddenly disappear. Who the hell knows?
Exactly.
That is basically it. I guess, though, like present day with the Pine Barrens, there are hiking trails in there. You can camp. There are canoe routes.
Canoes.
There are historic villages like I had talked about. I was looking through some of these videos. It was showing like, have you ever been anywhere hiking where you'll see the frame of like a stone building? Like, I don't know if it was like a cottage necessarily. So they have those in there, I saw. Now, locals will tell you do not wander too far off of a marked trail. And not necessarily because of the Jersey Devil, but just because the woods are so deceptively like vast in there. It's very easy to get turned around. So I guess, you know, people do get lost.
The suicide first.
Oh my God. That was a good episode.
What an eerie place.
Hell yeah. But, you know, when the sun goes down here, the environment changes rapidly in the Pine Barrens, again, because of how dense it is, how dense the forest is.
Right.
So, yeah. That's all I got, man.
Well, I mean, I thought it was very fascinating. You know, dare I say, you seem to be more and more comfortable with doing these things.
I agree. I don't know what has come over me, but I'm not sweating. I'm not. My heart's not.
You're not
palpitating.
perspirating.
Right. I feel like I sound relaxed. I feel it. I don't know what has come over me.
So, congratulations.
Onward and upward. It only took,
You've
what,
arrived.
3 years?
come a long way, baby.
Thank you.
But yeah, all right. Well, thank you for a lovely episode.
You're welcome.
And this was episode 20, everybody. If you can believe it. Season 3, episode 20. So we look forward to seeing everyone in episode 21. And of course,
absolutely.
And of course, until then,
Stay safe.
And stay chill.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. You've just listened to Chillworthy. Thank you for joining us on this latest episode. While we strive to keep our discussions engaging and lighthearted, we also wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the real lives and events that are at the heart of these stories.
We try to approach each topic with a sense of curiosity and respect, fully aware of the impact these events have had on the individuals and their loved ones. Our goal is to honor their memories by keeping their stories alive and shedding light on the mysteries that surround them.
If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to subscribe, rate, and leave a review, and don't forget to join us on the next episode of Chillworthy.